You ever wonder what fans from the 90s thought about the NBA? How about fans from the 80s? Today we have 3 websites, 3 forums that are going to tell us exactly that. Let's just explore. Starting off with the mid 80s, we have a post here from November 11, 1983 by a fella called ST, and the title is 16 Playoff Teams. Might as well get this group going. Does anybody know how the 16 playoff teams are going to be determined in the NBA? Is it going to be just division leaders plus the next 6 teams in each conference? 16 is ridiculous. How many of you are glad that the referees are on strike? Maybe the new refs won't be so intimidated that they obligingly overlook the basic rules of the game like traveling. Consider the way Julius Erving travels on many, if not most, of his drives to the basket. Sheesh, ST is not liking the 16 playoff teams. He thinks it's too much. I agree with that at times. Did anyone else ever know that Julius Erving got called for traveling? Or everyone thought he was traveling? Because a lot of the replies are talking about that. Here from November 16, 1983, we have Byron. The top 20 college teams. Here are my top 20 college teams as picked by Street and Smith's basketball yearbook. Number 1, North Carolina. Number 2, Kentucky. Number 3, Houston. Number 4, Georgetown. Number 5, Louisville. Number 6, Memphis State. Keeps going, but here is the big part. Player of the Year, Michael Jordan, North Carolina. February 14th, 1984, we have Mark on a forum called Dunkers. Face it, no one cares about the NBA anymore. I can't think of a more dull game to watch. Hooray for college basketball, Mark. Yeah, in 1984 we had Magic and Larry, and we still had Dr. J, and MJ was about to come in. MJ was in at this point, right? No, MJ was about to come in, and Patrick Ewing was coming in 2 years, and Hakeem was coming soon. We had Ralph Sampson. We had all these megastars, and they called it boring. We have another Mark now, January 31st, 1985. So at this point, Michael Jordan's been in the league for 6 months, is it? Yeah, he just been drafted 6 months ago. So Mark with a C writes, since San Diego basketball fans are now in the dark with respect to goings on in the NBA, could someone please tell me how in the world Jordan is piling up such outrageous stats? All I've seen is box scores and the occasional slam dunk highlight on ESPN, but I don't even know, for instance, if he's playing point guard, shooting guard, mostly around the basket, scoring on outside jumpers, or what. From the few highlights I can tell, it seems he has a carte blanche to go wherever on the court he feels. But what's he got that makes him special? I don't remember him having a particularly good outside shot at UNC. There's plenty of 6'6" players who can jump in the NBA. And a month later, Mitch without a T writes, hang time, quickness, instinct, hustle. February 5, 1985, Dave writes, why is the NBA so boring? I'll tell you why the NBA is boring. Number 1, zone defenses are not allowed. That detracts from defenses. Yeah, that's factual. Thank God they got rid of that. Number 2, 3-2, make free throws, thwarts comebacks. I don't even know what that means because someone told me what that means. Number 3, bad shot selection. Number 4, one-on-one play. I actually agree with that though. It was way too much because they banned zones at that time. Number 5, 3-point shots. Further encourages bad shot selection. Okay, Dave, 3-point shots are a bad thing, huh? Maybe. Number 6, 24-second clock. Encourages bad shot selection and one-on-one play. Number 7, no necessity for coaching. Therefore, there is none. Okay. Number 8, refs don't call charging. Discourages good defense, which is kind of something they still don't do to this day, but it's a lot better now. Number 9, refs don't call traveling. Yes, sir. Okay. Another one allows for dunks from midcourt, which we saw before with Dr. J. People say he is allowed to travel, so he dunks from midcourt. So I guess people back then weren't super impressed with the whole jumping from midcourt thing, I guess. Number 10, 20-second timeouts. Too easy to get out of trap situation. Oh, okay. Number 11, too many playoff teams. Who cares about the regular season anymore? Okay, this is in 1985. That's interesting. Thank you, Dave. February 15, 1985, Doug, on the same topic, Why is the NBA so boring? They don't play basketball. Too much pushing, holding, fouling is allowed. Any fouls called are arbitrary. Consequently, fouls are based more on reputation than on the sequence of events. The reason for this is that the league doesn't want the games to become a simple test of free throw shooting. But if all the fouls were called consistently, I believe that the greatest basketball players in the world would adjust. Okay, I agree with that one. But that's interesting. Back then, people were talking about, oh, the game was so much more violent, then it was so much better. But I'm guessing back at the time when it was all violent and college basketball was probably called better, people really liked how college basketball didn't have all the violence that the NBA had. So what do you think? Do you like the rough type of basketball? Do you like watching the basketball we have now in the NBA? Number 2, in crunch time, the last few seconds of a game, anything goes. The officials are so afraid of deciding a game at the free throw line that anything short of decapitation is good defense, unless the shooter makes the shot. Consequently, the fouling is completely out of hand in the final last second. This frame of mind becomes the standard for playoff games. Okay, I agree with that one too. So, yeah, back then they used to allow anything because they let you foul, literally almost kill somebody, and they call it good defense. But I guess, same thing. Do you guys agree with that? Because I kind of like it the way we have it now, but I hate sometimes how the referees be calling the games because of their calls. And just to round it off for the 80s, we have Roger here, titled The Round Mound of Rebound on May 21, 1985. Wow, I was really impressed with Barkley in the Boston-Philly series. If he can keep his desire and control his temper, I think he's going to be one hell of a player. I couldn't believe the job he did on the boards in the 4th game, and even in the 5th and final game, he hit 3 of 3 3-pointers. I think Philly is really got a prize in Barkley. Somebody told me, how could he not be on the Olympic team? After all that Dr. J has done for the Sixers, Philly fans should be ashamed to boo him. The fact the Sixers fans probably just got what they deserve after they don't feel the spectrum that often and they boo one of the greatest players in the game. I just can't imagine that. Okay, did anyone know that the Philly fans were booing Dr. J in the 80s, like 2 years after when they won the championship? Sheesh, yeah, Philly fans have always been dangerous. Like if you want more, I'll probably do more anyway, but thank you for watching and please subscribe if you can as well.